bite. That was Rissy.
Good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of WHHS Sports. I'm Logan Repko.
And I'm Tyler Camiotti. Tonight we have traveled to Madison to bring you the district semifinals as the Jefferson Falcons square off against your very own Harvey Red Raiders.
The Falcons capped off the season with a record of 13-6 and claiming the NEC championship. Your Red Raiders ended the season at 11-9.
When these two teams faced off in the regular season, they split the pair. Harvey won a close one by no more than 3 points when they traveled to Jefferson. But when the Falcons came to our house, they walked away with a victory.
Now while we have a chance, let's look at tonight's starting lineups.
For the Jefferson Falcons, we have Alex Rabe, Dan Nemeth, Zach Dennis, Sean Leary, and Mark Baker.
For Harvey Red Raiders, we have Andrew Booth, Mike Baker, Morgan Lewis, Kevin Alston, and Ivan Pinkett.
And we are just about to get underway. We still haven't started with the starting lineups. Coaches cleaning off the floor. Perhaps some sweat from a previous game. Earlier tonight we saw the West Geauga Wolverines play the Cortland Lakeview Bulldogs. And in an unexpected turn of events, the Wolverines from West G overcame the Bulldogs with a score of 53-48. So the winner of this contest between your Harvey Red Raiders and the Jefferson Falcons will face off against the West Geauga Wolverines on this coming Friday.
Could very conceivably be the matchup of two underdogs in this upcoming game, Tyler.
Certainly. I think the Raiders are looked at as the underdogs in this game simply because they had a little bit worse of a record this season compared to the Jefferson Falcons, who ended up taking the NEC championship. And Harvey hasn't really played the type of game that Jefferson has. It's two different styles, and well, it's going to be time will tell which style prevails in this game.
Absolutely. And finally, we're getting the introductions underway. There was a slight delay, as we stated earlier, towards the right of the stands. And these stadiums go back about 20, 30 rows back. And there are fans packing it in mostly everywhere. There's still some room left, but there's not a whole lot. A lot of space being filled up.
This home of Blue Streaks has a lower level and even a mezzanine level, and both sides, both levels packed to capacity. Everybody turning out to see this NEC matchup in tournament action.
Yeah, when you get this deep into the tournament, I think a lot of people that don't even normally come to these games start flocking out just to see what's going on.
All right, this is a big game. This game decides who moves on to the finals. From the finals, we move into regionals, which is played at Euclid. Hopefully we'll be able to move on so that the Raiders will play again this Friday against the West Geauga Wolverines.
Certainly an exciting prospect, but the Raiders have to win this one first. Certainly not an easy match against the more favored Jefferson Falcons.
Jefferson's talent doesn't go much deeper than their starting five. We're going to see a lot out of their starting five in Alex Rabe, Dan Nemeth, Zach Dennis, Sean Leary, and Mark Baker, while Harvey has a wide array of talent in players like Zach Bruback and Chris Crawford, other players that aren't starting this evening, but will still be able to come in and help us out.
Absolutely. The depth that we have is a strength that I would definitely look for Coach Starkey to play to tonight. I'd look for the Raiders to play more of a fast-paced game than they're used to, which is also the kind of the game that the Falcons play, but if the Raiders have more players, they should have more juice in their tank at the end.
Right, and that's where we're really going to see it. If our key players need a break, then we certainly have more than enough talent on the reserves to come in and get the job done. Cleanup still going on, just off the screen.
And while we have a chance, why don't we take a look at our sponsors for tonight's game? Before Colony Lumber Company,
Master Pizza,
John Paul Wells,
Clark's Gas,
Talk of the Town Barber Salon,
Shep's Trucking,
Image Makers,
Belutro Insurance,
Curves,
Silvestro's Depot Cafe,
New Hope Baptist,
Stars Cars,
Union Congregational Church,
and Fifth Third Bank in Cleveland. And we're just about to get underway with the jump ball. Mike Baker will be jumping for the Red Raiders, and he will be going up against number 40, Alex Rabe, for the Jefferson Falcons.
and tonight, none of the little lineup tricks that the Raiders sometimes use. Raiders going with their all-experienced team. None of the you don't see Chris Crawford. Nobody starting that's young or that doesn't usually play. It's the starting five, their go-to guys tonight. No tricks. Our best against their best.
Raiders starting Andrew Booth tonight, who on Saturday against the Benedictine Bengals had a tremendous game, coming up with 26 points, leading the team in scoring. Look for him to be a big player in tonight's action. And also look for the leadership of Mike Baker and the flashiness of Morgan Lewis.
Yeah, Morgan Lewis, he certainly is a playmaker. Let's see if he comes through in a big game such as this one. Certainly that is the mark of a great player.
And here we are about to get underway. Mike Baker going up against Alex Rabe. The ball is up. Baker gets the tip, gets it over to Kevin Alston. Alston with the ball in the wing, kicks it over to Ivan Pinkett up top. Pinkett over to Lewis on the wing. Lewis looks up to Baker with the immediate alley-oop slam dunk. Right off the bat, the Raiders get into this and get the crowd pumped.
Nothing subtle. I like the way the Raiders came out and did that. They didn't wait, feel out their opponents. Morgan Lewis just came right off the bat swinging for the fences. Gotta love it with the Raiders.
That's a play we've seen almost every game with Mike Baker going baseline and Morgan Lewis just seeing him and throwing it up there for him. Jefferson missed the three. Morgan Lewis flying through the lane, throws it up, can't get that one. Dan Nemeth with the ball. Kicks it over to number 32, Mark Baker. Ball is picked off but then lost. Recovered by number 40, Alex Rabe, who is called with the travel.
And an uncharacteristic bad handling by Morgan Lewis is nullified because of some traveling by the Jefferson Falcons. And already this early in the game, this is louder than the Riverside game.
Yes, both teams have sent cheering sections. The Raiders Crusaders have come out and packed one section of the bleachers on the Harvey side. And Jefferson's fans are getting a little rowdy on this side. And that was Kevin Alston with the inside jumper. Raiders up to a quick 4-0 lead.
Now with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Dan Nemeth throws up the three, and he gets that one to fall. So he quickly closes the gap on the Raiders' lead. Ivan Pinkett with the ball, halfway on the wing. Kicks it over to Mike Baker. Morgan Lewis from the corner for three. That one's just short off the front of the rim. Nemeth driving through the lane to the hole. Nothing there for him.
And another one of the solid rebounders. Andrew Booth pulls one down.
And a good look into the lane to Kevin Alston. Alston turns around, throws it up. Can't get it to fall.
Poor decision of a shot there. I think he had more time than he realized. He was waiting for the defender, and none ever came.
Ball's into number 40, Alex Rabe, who turns into the lane and throws that one up and in.
Puts the Falcons in the lead 5-4 with 5 minutes and 33 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Pinkett with the ball on the wing, kicks it over to Baker in the corner. Baker for three. That one's good.
Uh-oh, I've seen that look before. That's the look he has when he shoots his foul shots. If he starts hitting his threes like that,
it's going to be all night, baby. Long pass over to number 4, Sean Leary. Leary for three. And he answers Baker with a three of his own.
Both teams come out firing now. 8-7 with 5 minutes to go.
And Andy Booth puts in his two from underneath.
Wow, these first 3 minutes have been a track meet. It's already 9-8. They just keep firing right back at each other.
Mike Baker flying through the air to pick off that pass. Ivan Pinkett looking for Morgan Lewis. Pass a little bit off and goes out of bounds. That'll be Jefferson Falcon ball. Dan Nemeth to bring the ball up court. Ball almost picked off by Andrew Booth. Into Alex Rabe underneath. Back out to number 2 for the Falcons. Leary goes inside to Rabe. Rabe goes to the lane, throws it up. High off the glass, there's nothing there for him. And Ivan Pinkett loses the ball out of bounds. Mark Baker didn't inbound the ball from underneath. Finds Leary up top. Baker with the ball on the baseline, gets it over to Alex Rabe, who's stripped by Ivan Pinkett.
Pinkett in turn is stripped by Rabe, but the ball goes out of bounds, and it is Raider ball.
And Harvey's chosen point guard, Ivan Pinkett, to bring the ball up court.
As opposed to sometimes they play Lewis, but like I said, they're going with their classical no-frills kind of offense.
After working the ball around, Pinkett winds up with it up top once again. And Kevin Alston over to Morgan Lewis in the corner, who pulls the trigger. That one's just short. Well short. Nemeth brings the ball up court, facing a little double team. And number 2 for the Falcons, we don't have a name for that player. He goes through the lane, gets the ball stripped, and it goes out of bounds. That'll be Falcon ball.
That stops the clock with 3 minutes, 37 seconds left in the first quarter. It's still 9-8 in favor of the Harvey Red Raiders.
And number 2, who we've just been informed is Zach Dennis, puts it up.
Good defense by Morgan Lewis on that last drive, and good rebound by Andrew Booth, that was.
Quick pass inside to Andrew Booth, who turns into the lane and puts that one in.
Booth is already having the makings of another solid night. He scored 4 points and grabbed a couple of boards already.
Raiders now up by 3, 11-8 with 3:03 left in the first quarter. Ivan Pinkett with a long pass down to Lewis. Lewis gets stopped by Nemeth. Alston steps inside, kicks it out to Ivan Pinkett. Pinkett going inside to the hole and throws it up off the bottom of the backboard. Nemeth kicks it up to Leary. Leary into Rabe. Rabe throws it up. That one's short off the front of the rim. And Morgan Lewis with a nice look baseline as Andrew Booth was going baseline, but a little bit in front of Booth.
Yeah, I think you rushed things just a little bit. It was a good look at transition, but I think you should have just pulled that out. It was bad. It was a bad decision in retrospect.
And Nemeth with the ball up court, facing Morgan Lewis at the half.
Chris Crawford just checked in the game for Ivan Pinkett.
Now look to Morgan Lewis to be our point guard. Nemeth's trapped, finds Alex Rabe on the opposite wing. Over to Zach Dennis. Rabe goes into the lane, puts it up off the glass and in. That's 4 for him on the night.
Morgan Lewis certainly also very able at bringing the ball up court.
Kevin Alston back over to Mike Baker in the corner. Alston over to the wing. And here we go again. Another alley-oop look from Morgan Lewis to Mike Baker.
That's great vision. That's a great pass right there.
Morgan Lewis sees the court possibly better than anyone else on the floor. And he's regarded as one of the top players in the NEC, as are many of the players on the Harvey team, and Mike Baker, Kevin Alston. And that ball goes off of Jefferson. That'll be Red Raider ball.
It's now 13-10 with 1:26 in the first quarter. Raiders still on top.
Checking into the ball game is Ivan Pinkett to give Kevin Alston a rest. Pinkett over to Lewis. Lewis on the wing. High pass over to Baker. Lewis goes through the legs. Kicks it over to Pinkett, who's on the wing. Look inside to Crawford in the paint. Crawford throws it up and gets it to fall.
Great strong move down in the low post by Crawford. That is that strength off the bench that you were talking about. We really do have good players, more than just 5.
Raiders now lead by 5, 15-10. Under a minute left in the first quarter. And Zach Dennis hits his inside jumper. Raiders quickly bring the ball back up court, looking to give Jefferson some of their own medicine. Booth with the ball in the corner. Looks out to Lewis up top. Lewis steps inside, dishes it off to Mike Baker. Mike Baker for 3. And that one off the back of the rim. Dan Nemeth goes the length of the floor, tries to get it in, but nothing. And that ball goes off the hands of Mike Baker. That'll be Falcon ball underneath. Good intensity by Baker going up for the rebound, just a little bit off the tip of his fingers. And now into the ball game is number 32, Zach Bruback, in to give Andrew Booth a rest. And Alex Rabe gets it to fall. That brings the Falcons within 1. Rabe now has 6 on the evening. Baker still the leading scorer of the game with 7.
6 seconds left. 4, 3. Lewis looks to shoot.
Baker throws it up. And at the end of the first quarter, your Harvey Red Raiders are leading 15-14. We've seen great intensity on behalf of both teams. The Raiders really stepping up their style of play to match the Falcons' fast-paced play.
Absolutely, they've had great contributions all around. Now, how about a word from our sponsors? First off, we have Colony Lumber Company, 352-3351.
Next, we have Master Pizza across from Top Supermarket.
Pelutro Insurance, celebrating 50 years of service.
Curbs at 53 South St. Clair in Painesville, 357-7190.
Silvestro's, 354-3851.
For great food, make it Silvestro's. And New Hope Baptist Church at 428 West Jackson Street in Painesville.
Stars Cars, 350-9270. Nobody walks.
Union Congregational Church at 10959 Johnny Cake Ridge Road in Concord, 440-352-3556.
And Fifth Third Bank, 1404 East 9th in Cleveland, 216-274-5300.
And the teams have taken the floor once again. It'll be Jefferson ball at half court. Leary finds Nemeth. Nemeth with the ball up top. Looks for 3. He's picked up his dribble. He can't do anything with it. And Zach Dennis kicks it back out to Nemeth up top. Nemeth finds Alex Rabe in the paint. Rabe pump fakes, gets Crawford off his feet, and goes up under and puts it in for 2.
Yeah, he fooled Chris Crawford right there. Got him up in the air.
Zach Bruback with the quick look into Chris Crawford underneath, who lays that one up and in.
Chris Crawford has such a strong move underneath. That was great.
He's unstoppable.
I can tell you, I've been on the receiving end of those elbows a couple times. It's not, it doesn't feel very good.
And Crawford really, he became a good player when his game became more mental than physical. He used to not really have the mentality, but then one day in practice, something just clicked working with Coach Hartman. And now he's a phenomenal player underneath the basket.
Time now drawing under 7 minutes, excuse me. Still 17-16 in favor of your Harvey Red Raiders.
Zach Dennis kicks the ball over to Dan Nemeth. Nemeth goes baseline, throws that one up, and it drops in. That puts the Falcons on top, 18-17 with 6:38 left in the first half. Morgan Lewis kicks the ball over to Ivan Pinkett on the wing. Pinkett pulls the trigger for 3, and that one well off to the side. And Zach Bruback.
Something I'm not sure I liked about that last possession. The Raiders were looking, I think, a little bit hesitant. I don't know what got them off their game.
Yeah.
But I hope they'll stay aggressive like they were in the first quarter.
Good hustle for the loose ball recovery by Zach Bruback going up against Big Bob Reinhardt. Andrew Booth is trapped underneath, throws it up. And Dan Nemeth comes up with the rebound. Nemeth pulls the trigger for three. That one's off the back of the rim. Mike Baker comes up with the ball. And he looks to throw it up to Morgan Lewis, but the ball's picked off. I think sometimes the Raiders try to go for too much flashiness when just key fundamental basketball is what we need to do to keep us in the lead.
Yeah, but there wasn't a lot of chance of scoring on that fast break. I think Baker took a decent chance on that one.
Well, it could have been even a smart move to slow things down and wait for an opportunity to score. Meanwhile, number 44, Big Bob Reinhardt, puts the ball up and in.
It's now 2017 in favor of the Jefferson Falcons, now under 5.5 minutes. 5:24 to go in the second quarter.
And another alley-oop up from Ivan Pinkett to Mike Baker. Baker getting way up and dropping it in.
Yeah, a third of the Raiders' points have come off alley-oops tonight.
Dan Nemeth looks into Alex Rabe. Ball is tipped by one of the Raiders and goes out of bounds. Falcons will get the ball in the corner. Kevin Alston goes for the pick, but tips it out of bounds.
Good defense by the Raiders right there. 3 white jerseys around it.
And Morgan Lewis almost comes up with the pick, but can't recover as Sean Leary comes up with the ball. And Zach Dennis flying through the lane, nothing. And in the lane, Mike Baker gets a big piece of Alex Rabe.
That is the first foul of the night.
And you're right, it is. We have seen a very fast-paced game.
Very fast-paced, very clean game so far.
No fouls, no timeouts. Only stoppages in the clock. Only stoppages are for balls that have gone out of bounds. Rabe hits his first.
It's now 21-19 with 4 minutes 50 seconds to go.
And we see our first timeout of the night, called by the Harvey Red Raiders. Raiders now down by 2, looking for some way to turn things around and get back the momentum that we had in the first quarter. Put ourselves back on top going into halftime. Always the thing that you like to have is a lead going into halftime.
And that was a short timeout. Raiders right back ready to play.
Quick words of encouragement coming from Coach Starkey. And you can see the intensities in the faces of our players.
Yeah, this is a big game. Sometimes that takes something more out of you. That's another thing to think about with Jefferson and their weak bench.
And Rabe's second foul shot is up, and he hits that one as well. That moves the Falcons' lead to 3, 22-19. Ivan Pinkett brings the ball up court. Faces Sean Leary. Gets the ball over to Morgan Lewis on the wing. Back over to Pinkett, who's flying through the lane. And Mike Baker throws the ball up high off the glass. He's fouled on the shot. He'll go to the line to shoot one more.
Baker has a lot of weapons down in the low post. He doesn't necessarily he's not necessarily as aggressive as Crawford, but he has a lot of finger rolls, turnarounds, hook shots. They're really quite effective. That's why he scores a lot of points down low. Plus, he has a great jumping ability.
And Baker hits his foul shot. Evens the score at 22 apiece. Baker now has 12 on the evening, the leading scorer for the Raiders.
And time now ticks under 4.5 minutes.
Sean Leary over to Alex Rabe. And Rabe almost loses it to Andrew Booth. Raiders playing tough defense. Rabe is on his knees. Finds Sean Leary. Kevin Austin looking to pick off the pass to Dan Nemeth. Still playing tough defense. Nemeth can't get anywhere.
I like this defense the Raiders are playing.
Very tough, very in your face.
Jefferson can't do anything with it.
It's what they need to do. Good move. The Raiders staying in between their player and the ball. Eliminates all passes.
Excellent team defense by the Raiders forces the Jefferson Falcons to take a timeout. That stops the clock with 3 minutes, 43 seconds, and the score tied at 22. Let's go to a word from our sponsors. Colony Lumber Company.
Master Pizza.
Belutro Insurance.
Curbs.
Silvestro's.
New Hope Baptist Church.
Stars Cars.
Union Congregational Church.
Fifth Third Bank.
And that's all, but we thank you all for all of your support. Without you, these broadcasts would not be possible. And the Falcons looking a little bit frustrated as they take the floor.
I don't know where that defense of the Raiders came from, but it would have frustrated me too.
The Raiders can keep that up the whole game, then they can force some Jefferson turnovers that you don't see very often. Wow, Mark Baker hits his three from the corner, which puts the Falcons on top 25-22. Ivan Pinkett with the ball up top. Over to Morgan Lewis. Baker with the ball in the corner. Lewis from the free throw line banks that one up and in. Not sure he called bank on that one, but we'll give it to him anyways.
Nice solid fundamental shot right there.
Brings the Raiders within one, 24-25. 3 minutes left in the second quarter.
And blocking on Ivan Pinkett. That's his first. Team second, no real danger. Foul trouble, as I mentioned earlier.
Still only the third foul of the game. Falcons contributing one. And that was Mark Baker with the foul. Dan Nemeth kicks it over to Zach Dennis. Dennis to Leary. Leary just inside the three-point line. Nemeth gets it into Rabe. Rabe looking to go baseline, steps into the paint, throws it up, and Andrew Booth had a hand on that one.
Oh, the refs are hearing it for that call. I think a lot of Raider fans wanted a charge right there. Could have gone either way, really. It was one of those close calls. With that free throw, it's 26-24 in favor of the Falcons. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left to go in the first half.
Rabe now has 11 points on the evening. Make that 12. Falcons applying a little bit of a press. Baker's pass over to Booth. Now Kevin Olsen with the ball in the corner. Kicks it out to Pinkett on the wing. And Pinkett looks to Morgan Lewis going baseline. Passes through traffic, and the Falcons get a hand on it. But it goes off out of bounds, off the Falcons. Morgan Lewis with the ball on the wing. Over to Baker on the opposite wing.
Taking his time. Time now drawing to 2 minutes.
And Andrew Booth with the inside jumper. The assist from Morgan Lewis.
Booth is having another solid night. 6 points already with an attempt for his seventh. It's 27-26 in favor of the Falcons. But this free throw could tie it up. 2 minutes and 6 seconds remain in the first half.
And Booth hits his foul shot, which moves the score to 27 apiece. Zach Dennis looking over to Alex Rabe. Mike Baker looks to come up with the rebound, but steps on the line. Baker not at all happy with that call.
Baker did well to restrain himself. I'm sure he was angry about that call.
Nearly slamming the ball on the ground, but wisely controlled his actions. And Rabe, amidst a flying slew of defenders, throws it up in and in off the glass
to grab his 14th point of the night.
And Kevin Alston flying through the corner of the lane, throws that one up and in. Dan Nemeth taking the ball the length of the floor. A little dish over to number 32, Mark Baker.
And not sure who the call is on. That'll be on number 20, Morgan Lewis. Not at all happy about that. Very close to getting a technical called. Nevertheless, Falcons are shooting. It's 29-29 with 1:30 left to go in the first quarter. And the first half, excuse me.
Just off the left of the screen, Ivan Pinkett's discussing with the referee. Pinkett staying calm, but the ref kind of yelling at him. And Mark Baker's second free throw is up and in. Puts the Falcons on top, 30-29. Just under a minute and a half left in the first half. And Kevin Alston is fouled on his three-point attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot three. And the refs are now signaling that the foul's on the floor. Alston will not be shooting.
Must have been after he shot because he looked pretty wide open to me.
Ivan Pinkett to inbound the ball from the corner. Gets it into Kevin Alston. Alston going into the lane, kicks it over to Pinkett. Pinkett gets it into Booth underneath. Booth throws it up. He's fouled on the shot. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Good attempt. Way to draw the foul right there by Booth. I like that strong, aggressive style out of the hole. It's now a minute and 18 seconds left to go in the first half. 30-29 in favor of the Falcons.
Andrew Booth's foul shot is up and good. He'll have one more. Looks to put the Raiders on top 31-30. Now with 1:18 left in the first half. And Booth misses his second. The ball is rebounded by Alex Rabe. Kicks it over to Zach Dennis, who opts to give it off to Dan Nemeth. Nemeth with the ball on the wing. Looks into Rabe. Rabe facing tough defense from Mike Baker. And Sean Leary throws that one up and in from the paint.
Now under a minute. Excuse me. Now under a minute to go now.
And Kevin Alston with the inside jumper. Evens the score at 32 apiece.
Alston really plays well. He's been playing really good defense so far on Nemeth. And he has 6 points tonight as well. Good night for Kevin Alston so far.
The Raiders and the Falcons matching each other par for par. This game staying deadlocked through all that we've seen.
Stops the clock with 22 seconds to go. I'm sure the Falcons will be playing for the last shot right here.
Zach Dennis gets it into Dan Nemeth. Nemeth with the ball up top, just across half court. Dennis gets it into Rabe. Rabe falling on the ground, kicks it out to Dennis. And a foul is called.
And I think he should get a little bit of an award right there. Definitely might have been touched a little bit, but that's not the kind of contact you usually see called under the hole.
Yeah.
I think he
and
acted
the
that one out
Academy
a little
Award
bit.
goes to Alex Rabe. Kevin Alston with the ball on the fast break, lays that one up and in. That moves the Raiders up 34-32 with 1 second left in the game. Oh my goodness, Zach Dennis fires the ball from across half court. Just as time expires, it falls through the net, and that puts the Falcons on top 35-34 as we go into halftime. Wow.
Those feel cheap. Ah, well.
You see those shots go up every time time's about to expire, but rarely do you see them fall. That's one that Zach Dennis will remember for a very long time to come.
So whether we like it or not, it scores 35-34 at halftime in favor of the Jefferson Falcons. We've seen really deadlock play from the two teams, much as we'd expect. The Raiders won by 2 in the first game, and then they lost by 3 in the second game that they played.
Right. And to get this far in the tournaments, the Raiders have beaten First University. That was a week ago tomorrow. And then they played on Saturday against the Benedictine Bengals. And I think the Raiders were the underdog in that game, came out on top. Benedictine certainly had the size, but not the talent, as the Raiders really were able to step up their game, and everything was clicking for them. Big points out of Andrew Booth, coming up with 26 to lead the team. Put the Raiders over.
Absolutely. Raiders are making a really strong run at the tournament right now.
And let's take a look at the stats right now. For the Raiders, Mike Baker is leading with 12 points. And then Morgan Lewis has, I'm sorry. Yes, Morgan Lewis has 2. Andrew Booth has 8. And Kevin Alston also has 8.
So we're seeing contribution from all around.
Right, and with that, let's take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Welcome back. I'm Logan Repko.
And I'm Tyler Camiotti. Coming back from halftime, the score is 35-34 in favor of the Jefferson Falcons. And Ivan Pickett kicks it over to Mike Baker on the wing. Jefferson playing really tough defense, and Baker has no other option than to throw it off Sean Leary's foot, and it goes out of bounds. That'll be Red Raider ball on the side. Ivan Pickett to inbound.
That's a move you learn on the playground when you're like 4. It's still effective in varsity high school basketball. Kind of amazing.
Mike Baker with the ball on the wing, kicks it over to Morgan Lewis from the free throw line, puts that one up and in. And Morgan Lewis has 4 on the night. Surprisingly low for Morgan Lewis. Perhaps we'll see some more out of him in the second half. Dan Nemeth with the ball just across half court facing Kevin Alston. Kicks it into Alex Rabe just inside the three-point line. Long pass over to Sean Leary. Leary goes baseline, throws it up from underneath, and missed his layup.
Raiders are coming out steaming like they did in the first quarter.
Morgan Lewis kicks it over to Kevin Alston. Alston with the ball on the wing, kicks it over to Ivan Pinkett. Pinkett has the ball up top. And Pinkett looks to go baseline, but it's cut off by number 44, Bob Reinhard. Mike Baker throws up the inside jumper. It's not going to fall for him. Ball goes out of bounds off of Sean Leary.
Number 44.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Bob Reinhard.
Yes.
And that's Red Raider ball. Kevin Alston to inbound.
Raiders don't usually do a lot of fancy stuff off of the inbound. I guess they really figure there's no need to. They have such great ball handlers and passers.
Ivan Pinkett with the ball in the corner. Sean Leary leaving a nice cushion. Morgan Lewis fires for 3, and that one's well short.
Did hit the rim, though, so he saved himself the embarrassment of an air ball.
Yes. The Red Raiders' outside shots aren't really working that much for them tonight. And Alex Rabe comes up with the big rebound.
Andrew Booth with one hand threw Rabe down on the floor with the ball.
Booth had his hands on the ball. It's not like he physically, put Rabe to the ground, but Rabe was crying a different story. Going for the theatrics, trying to get the call. Sean Leary with the ball up top. Kicks it over to Zach Dennis. Dennis into the corner to Leary. Leary for 3. Jumps in and jumps back out.
Raiders got away with one there. For some reason, they left a huge cushion on Leary, but he couldn't convert the 3.
Ivan Pinkett with the ball up top. Kicks it over to Baker on the wing. Baker into Booth. Booth from the free throw line. And that one rattles around and jumps out. And Morgan Lewis goes up and tips that one back in. One-handed, real nice from Lewis.
Now 38-35 with 5 minutes, 32 seconds to go in the third quarter. The score is, of course, in favor of the Harvey Red Raiders.
Zach Dennis with the ball in the corner. Dribbles out. Gives it over to Sean Leary. Leary over to Reinhard. Reinhard into the opposite corner to Zach Dennis. Dennis trying to ward off Ivan Pinkett.
Pinkett in his turn is sticking very close. Both Pinkett and Alston Jr. have been playing really tight defense tonight. Got to commend them both for their play.
Reinhard with the ball up top. Gives it over to Sean Leary. Leary from the wing for three. And drops that one straight through.
That ties it up at 38. Now 4 minutes, 38 seconds to go in the third quarter.
These two teams still matching each other, par for par. It's going to come down to the final seconds to determine who comes away with the victory tonight. Morgan Lewis over to Baker. Baker for three. That one's off the back of the rim. And Dan Nemeth with the ball facing Kevin Alston.
Time ticking down towards 4 minutes. Still tied at 38.
Sean Leary over to Nemeth on the wing. Nemeth into the corner to Leary. Leary fires for three, and it jumps out. That's Leary's second from that corner that it's almost hit through, but the rim just sends it back out. And Alex Rabe comes up with the rebound.
Now both teams having trouble converting. It's now 3.5 minutes. Been a minute and a half since anyone scored.
Nemeth with the ball in the corner looks into Bob Reinhardt. Reinhardt throws it up way off. The ball comes down and goes off of the Harvey Red Raiders. And the Jefferson Falcons call a 20-second timeout.
How about now a word from our sponsors? Colony Lumber Company,
Master Pizza,
Palutro Insurance,
Curves,
Silvestro's Depot Cafe,
New Hope Baptist Church,
Stars Cars,
Union Congregational Church,
and Fifth Third Bank.
Thank you all very much for your kind contributions. Without you, these broadcasts would not be possible. The score is even at 38 buckets apiece, with 3:22 left in the third quarter. It'll be Falcons ball underneath.
And if the players don't start feeling it soon, I think if they are not feeling it now, I think they soon will. The effect that playing in such a big game has it. I think it'll start to hit them. But there's a lot on the line. And we'll see how they react to that pressure.
Nemeth with the ball up top. Over to Leary. Leary kicks it into Bob Reinhardt. Ball stripped by Ivan Pinkett. Reinhardt comes up with it again. And Pinkett fighting for it. Ball ends up in the hands of Zach Dennis, who gets it over to, that's Dan Nemeth, flying through the lane and throws it up and in. Jefferson now up by 2, 40-38. And Morgan Lewis goes baseline, throws it up and in. And number 44, Bob Reinhardt, is called with the block.
And Morgan Lewis, who has been quiet for what he usually does tonight, still comes through with another big play. Great right-handed shot and draws the foul. Ties the game at 40 and has a chance to put the Raiders in the lead. It's now 40-40 with 2 minutes, 49 seconds in the third quarter.
That's 8 for Lewis on the night. And Lewis converts. That puts the Raiders on top by 1, 41-40. 2:47 left in the third quarter. Chris Crawford picks the ball off the tip from Ivan Pinkett. Pinkett with the ball inside, looks to Chris Crawford. Pass a little bit off and intercepted by Zach Dennis. Dan Nemeth looking to go for some high-flying antics through the lane. Can't get that one to fall for him, but he's going to the line.
Chris Crawford was terribly over-aggressive on that play. There was no reason for him to swipe the way that he did. He needs to calm down and play his game. Not a good foul at all right there. He didn't even... Nemeth had the ball in his right hand when Crawford tried to swipe across. Wasn't working.
That's Crawford's first foul of the night. Crawford has 4 points. Checking into the ballgame is Kevin Alston in to replace Ivan Pinkett.
Score is now tied at 41. It's 2:28 left in the third quarter.
And Nemeth's free throws up and jumps out. Crawford comes up with a strong board.
Crawford rebounds nicely with a nice rebound.
Booth with the ball inside, kicks it out to Morgan Lewis up top. Lewis over to Alston on the wing. Coach Starkey signaling them to use this side of the floor, signaling the whole offense to shift. And Booth steps inside, spins into the lane, throws that one up just off the back iron. Crawford comes up with the rebound and throws that one in off the glass.
Crawford coming through big. It's now 43-41 in favor of the Raiders. Minute 50 now in the third quarter.
Zach Dennis fires the three. Mike Baker comes up with the rebound. Dennis really thought that one was going to fall. And Lewis fires the inside jumper. No, the refs are signaling it was a three.
Lewis now draws to 12 points. So somehow he's getting back to what he usually does.
Yes, that puts the Raiders on top by 5, 46-41, just under a minute and a half left in the third quarter. Dan Nemeth looks in to number 10, Alex Chaka. Pass is intercepted by Chris Crawford. And Andrew Booth gets the ball on the fast break and lays it up and in. Booth is pumped, getting the crowds into it. Everybody for Harvey is just on their feet, screaming and yelling.
And after I criticize Chris Crawford, look at what he does. He causes a steal, he scores a couple points, grabs a couple rebounds. Great job by Chris Crawford right there.
Crawford now has 6 on the night.
Good contribution for the sophomore.
And as Morgan Lewis only had 4 going into the half, he's quickly picked up 8 points and is now tied for the leading scorer tonight. He's tied with Mike Baker. Both have 12 apiece.
It's now 48-41 in favor of the Raiders. Now that we have the chance, how about a quick word from our sponsors? Colony Lumber Company,
Master Pizza,
Belutro Insurance,
Curves,
Silvestro's,
New Hope Baptist Church,
Stars Cars,
Union Congregational Church,
and Fifth Third Bank. All those people who help bring this exciting game to you.
And Coach Walling really telling Morgan Lewis what he needs to do. And let me tell you, when Coach Walling tells you to do something, you do it.
He's certainly a very intimidating man, I'll give you that.
Or you will run in practice. Dan Nemeth with the ball up top. Kicks it over to Zach Dennis. Over to Leary in the corner. Leary pulls the trigger for 3. That one's off his side of the rim. Andrew Booth comes up with the ball. High pass over to Morgan Lewis. Lewis bringing the ball up on the wing. Steps inside. Fires the inside jumper. That one's off the side of the rim. Chris Crawford comes up with the rebound. Throws that one up. And rattles around and out. Andrew Booth comes up with the rebound. Throws that one up. He's fouled on the shot. He's going to the line to shoot 2. He was fouled hard. Ended up on the floor.
Good inside play by Chris Crawford and Andrew Booth right there. Crawford get the initial rebound. Booth to grab it, put it back up, and draw the foul. It's now 48-41 with 41 seconds to go in the third quarter. All the momentum is going the Raiders' way, but as you know, things can change in an instant. The Raiders have to keep playing hard.
They have to keep matching Jefferson's style, their fast-paced style of play, and keep rebounding. If the Raiders aren't matching the rebounding of Bob Reinhardt and Alex Rabe, then things are going to quickly deteriorate here. So far, we've been doing pretty well at combating the big rebounders for Jefferson. And with that bucket, Andrew Booth moves the Raiders up top by 9, 50 to 41.
And takes his share of the lead for first in scoring for the Raiders. He also has 12.
30 seconds left in the third quarter. Look inside to Bob Reinhardt. Kicks it out to Nemeth. Nemeth goes into the lane, throws that one up. There's nothing there for him. Mike Baker comes up with the ball. Pass over to Morgan Lewis. And Lewis flies through the lane and lays that one up and in. Lewis picks it up. He's got it underneath. And the ball is tipped out of bounds by number 40, Alex Rabe. That'll be Red Raider ball.
And at the outset of the game, I said big players make big plays in big games. That's exactly what Morgan Lewis is doing right here.
Harvey is making some noise. And Morgan Lewis fires the inside jumper. And that's a three! Morgan Lewis hits a three.
The crowd is electric. Oh my gosh. Morgan Lewis is just single-handedly.
Raiders momentum quickly pulling up. And Alex Rabe throws that one up just short, just into the net. And the Raiders have turned things around drastically within the last 30 seconds. They've stepped up their play and now lead 55 to 41 going into the going into the final quarter of this basketball game.
I want to remember this. This is when the excitement in the crowd just went off. Everyone was shouting as loud as they could. You could hardly even hear yourself think.
The Raiders playing great defense. Morgan Lewis especially picking off the ball on the inbounds. Ball tipped out of bounds by Alex Rabe, but the Raiders get it back, and Morgan Lewis hits his inside jumper. That moves him to the Raiders' leading scorer with 17.
And now that we have a chance, why don't we look at those people who bring you this exciting game, our sponsors. Colony Lumber Company.
Master Pizza.
Palucho Insurance.
Curbs.
Silvestro's.
New Hope Baptist Church.
Stars Cars.
Union Congregational Church.
And Fifth Third Bank.
We thank you all very much. You have no idea how much your donations are appreciated.
Now 8 minutes stands between the Harvey Red Raiders and the finals.
The winner of this game will go on to face the West Geauga Wolverines. And they played a very tough Cortland Lakeview team. Lakeview has a very strong basketball program. Andrew Booth is wide open under the basket. Morgan Lewis sees him there and gets it to him. Booth puts it up and in. Puts the Raiders up by 16.
Raiders are absolutely clubbing the Jefferson Falcons right now.
And Leary fires the three. That one's short. Chris Crawford comes up with a big rebound. Phenomenal wingspan out of Crawford. Reaches up and pulls that one down. Morgan Lewis fires the three. Kevin Alston comes up with the rebound, pulls it out.
Alston kind of the voice of reason. I think all his teammates got a little excited. He just pulled it out, dragged it to the corner, and pulled it to the top. Alston really a leader for these players.
And Andrew Booth with the ball on the inside. Looks to go to the hole, gets the ball blocked. Dan Nemeth taking the ball the length of the floor. He loses it, and Mike Baker comes up with it. Baker in turn loses it and hits Zach Dennis. And when Baker falls down, he hits Alex Rabe. Rabe's still on the floor.
Yeah, somewhere in there a foul transpired apparently. A lot of the ball changing hands very quickly. Time stops with 6 minutes and 53 seconds while people attend.
Rabe is still on his knees. It looks like he hit his head a little bit there.
He's getting to his, well, he was on his feet.
We have an official timeout.
Doesn't appear to be anything too serious, though.
Maybe a little bit of blood. One of the coaches running over there with a towel.
The fans are resuming their seats, so there might be a little bit of a delay right here. Certainly we hope that he is okay. Give them plenty of time to make sure that, you know, there is nothing serious happening here.
You can never be too careful when somebody's head is involved. And Rabe is still sitting on the floor.
Well, now that we have this pause in the game, why don't we take a look at our sponsors? Or no, what he is getting up to his feet. So the game will resume.
And Ray will stay in the game. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's taking a walk to the locker room. He's done for the evening.
How about now that we are waiting a word from our sponsors? Colony Lumber Company, 352-3351.
Master Pizza.
Pelutro Insurance.
Curbs.
Silvestro's Depot Cafe.